I will call to order the North Aurora Village Board meeting of Monday, October 19th, 2020. And we'll open with silent prayer meditation. All right, please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We have roll call, please.
Mayor Berman?
Here.
Trustee Carroll?
Here.
Trustee Curtis?
Here.
Trustee Gaffino?
Here.
Trustee Gately?
Here.
Trustee Lowry?
Here.
And Trustee Martinez?
Here.
Are there any audience comments?
I do not see anyone asking to speak, Mr. Mayor Berman.
Thank you. Trustee comments. Consent agenda.
Motion approved.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Trustee Carroll?
Yes.
Trustee Curtis?
Yes.
Trustee Gaffino?
Yes.
Trustee Gately?
Yes.
Trustee Lowry?
Yes.
And Trustee Martinez?
Yes.
And under new business, item number 1, Mr. Bosco.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Item number 1 is a special event permit from Sharing Care. Basically, they want to have their Halloween parade. They usually do it indoors, but with COVID, they are going to do it outside. And they are requesting the use of that strip of parking that the village owns between Marvel and John Streets on October 30th.
Motion approved.
Second.
Discussion? Roll call, please.
Trustee Carroll?
Yes.
Trustee Curtis?
Yes.
Trustee Gaffino?
Yes.
Trustee Gately?
Yes.
Trustee Lowry?
Yes.
And Trustee Martinez?
Yes.
And item number 2, Mr. Hannah.
Mr. Mayor, item number 2 is approval of a resolution authorizing temporary modifications to the village's vacation buyback policy in the Human Resources Manual. As we were getting ready for our audit a couple months ago, we noticed that our employee balances of vacation time and other leave time had increased more significantly than normal on an annual basis. As we were looking into it, we realized some of the reasons related to the increase were a lot of canceled vacations due to the pandemic, some workers' comp issues and other employee leave issues that we had in the police department. So in discussing and reviewing those, just for a little bit of context, every employee has a maximum amount of vacation time that they can accrue and have in the bank at any given point in time during the year. It's typically their annual accrual plus 1 week. And so a lot of employees we noticed were at their limits or over their limits for vacation time as of the end of last fiscal year. So as we were talking about it, we realized that some of the reasons related to the pandemic and other issues could be ongoing for a couple months. We looked at seeing if we could simply modify our current vacation buyback policy to temporarily increase the scope of it from 60 hours to 80 hours and also allow union employees to participate as well as non-union. We talked about the benefits of doing that, and that would sort of help alleviate some of the pressure for employees to take vacation, especially now when it would be in the village's operational interest to have those employees available to work. So essentially this resolution would authorize us to do our normal vacation buyback program, but increase it to 80 hours one time and have it apply to all full-time employees that have vacation time.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Discussion? Bill, I want to commend you and staff for coming up with this. It shows our flexibility and our ability to deal with our employees when they're really exceptional times. And we can come up with programs that are going to be to their benefit. So I think you guys have done a fantastic job. Roll call, please.
One question, all of this applies to law enforcement also?
What's that?
All of this applies to law enforcement also?
Yes, all full-time employees, union and non-union.
Actually,
Okay.
the police were probably the biggest offenders, if you want to call it that.
Yeah. They've definitely had a unique mix of issues going on the last year and a half. So,
But we shared it with all employees, and I think it's a great idea, and I think that they should be very thankful. Roll call, please.
Trustee Carroll,
Yes.
trustee Curtis,
Yes.
trustee Gaffino,
Yes.
trustee Gately,
Yes.
trustee Lowry,
Yes.
and trustee Martinez.
Yes.
Item number 3, Mr. Laskowski.
Thank you, Mayor. This item is the approval of a professional services agreement with EEI for the next upcoming year's road program. At the September 21st Services Committee, staff outlined its 4-year plan for the road program. And as part of that 4-year program, we decided that we presented the streets that we would be working on in 2021. In the memo, you'll see that there's 19 different streets. 10 of these 19 are actually cul-de-sacs this year, but they're all going to be in the Pine Creek subdivision. The length of the project is 2.75 miles. That's almost a mile longer than last year's program, and the estimated cost is about $1.9 million. This would be the second year that EEI would be performing engineering services for us. They did a very good design, and the plans were exceptional last year. They had very good construction inspection, a very good construction inspector who was able to communicate well with our residents and staff. This year's program is going to be a little bit more difficult than the past year because this will be the first year that we're going to be introducing MFT funds into the program. Once you introduce a different source of funding that requires state approval, you have to also go through their approval processes. So with that added level of complexity, you would expect the cost in engineering to go up a little bit. However, the costs are actually very proportionate to the last year's program when you look at the length specifically. There are going to be 2 components to this contract. There'll be a design component that's going to be a fixed cost based on construction or based on hours. And then there's going to be a construction inspection cost that's also based on hourly, but it's basically an estimate. So it may be a little less, it may be a little more. In the end, after reviewing the agreement and the performance of EEI, staff is willing to recommend the agreement with EEI in the amount of $229,715.
Motion approved. Second.
Discussion. You know, we've had a little, I wouldn't say a problem. We've had some interest from residents this past year with our road program where they may not have felt that they got the most information as to what was going to happen on their property or on the village's property that is adjacent to them. So I hope that we do a little maybe extended effort on showing them or telling them what's going to happen and what to expect and this year.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that will not be a problem, Mayor.
Okay. Well, I think, you know, that people don't understand what is our property and what is their property. And I think it did show, we put a lot of time on discussion and solution of problems this year because of that. So maybe we can come up with that. Any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Trustee Carroll,
Yes.
Trustee Curtis,
Yes.
Trustee Gaffino,
Yes.
Trustee Gately,
Yes.
Trustee Lowry,
Yes.
and Trustee Martinez.
Yes.
Thank you. Item number 4, Mr. Hannah.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Item number 4 is approval of resolution to accept CARES Act funds from Kane County. As the board is aware, Kane County received a direct allocation from the federal government of CARES funds through the Coronavirus Relief Fund. They made these funds, a portion of these funds, available to local units of government. The village's allocation was $1,062,765. After some back and forth, receiving updated guidance from the county, as well as the United States Treasury about what those funds could be applied for and applied towards. They updated their guidance, and the village was able to make an application for those funds in September. It was accepted, and this is the IGA that would be between the village and the county for that Coronavirus Relief Fund, CARES Act funds funding.
Motion approved.
Second.
Discussion.
So I got a question. Did the county indicate how long it would be for us to receive those funds?
They definitely want to move quickly on it. I would anticipate within a month or so would be my guess. Trustee Gately.
Okay. That's all I had.
Any other discussion? We're happy to get whatever we can get.
Precisely.
Roll call, please.
Trustee Carroll,
Yes.
Trustee Curtis, Trustee Curtis,
Yes.
Trustee Gaffino,
Yes.
Trustee Gately,
Yes.
Trustee Lowry,
Yes.
Trustee Martinez.
Yes.
All right. Moving on. I have no old business. I do have something to say, but I can't think of it right now. I will. Committee reports. Trustee comments? Mr. Bosco?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just a couple of things. We did have a nice services committee meeting tonight, which we talked about our garbage contract. And the service committee did ask that we look into getting proposals for a new contract. Our current one expires May 31st. So staff will start working on that. Second of all, with the CARES Act funding, something that we wanted to mention tonight was that the staff is working on a program for potentially outdoor dining reimbursement for restaurants and businesses, food establishments. And what we were hoping to do is, if we can get it done quick enough, we'd like to bring it straight to board so that we have it ready as soon as possible, as opposed to waiting until mid-November.
Anything else, Steve?
No, that's it. Thank you, Mayor.
I remember what I was going to say. I have word that the governor tomorrow is going to restrict the county of Kane. There will be no more eating in restaurants. It will only be outside. And restaurants will close at a certain hour, so we'll look for that tomorrow morning from the governor. Mr. Attorney. Village Departments, Finance, Mr. Hannah.
Sorry, I have no report. I was muted.
You were talking, but we couldn't hear you?
Yep.
We like that. Mr. Hannah.
Nothing significant. We are going to have our comprehensive annual financial report ready for the next meeting to be presented to the village board in conjunction with our auditors.
Mr. Toth, Community Development.
Yeah, Steve stole my thunder. I was going to mention the outdoor dining and report.
Police, Chief Fisher.
No report tonight, sir.
Public Works, Mr. Laskowski.
Mayor, I'd just like to report that Public Works had 2 machines out for the first day of leaf collection on the west side. So if you're out or see the guys passing by, they're going to be collecting leaves all this week on the west side of town. We took our first 2 loads to Fermi Lab, and everything went smoothly.
I'll try to get mine out tomorrow. That sounds great. How's your new employee?
New employees adjusting really well. We made a few remodeling, I guess repairs and and remodeling over at the village, the Public Works offices. Brandon Tonarelli comes to us from Woodridge, and he's a pretty talented engineer. So I'm looking forward to getting him up to speed and working on projects.
He's been there a full week.
Yeah, he came back.
That's great. We don't have any to do. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn for.
Motion to adjourn. To accept.
We have a second.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? We're adjourned. Cal meeting will start shortly.